Brought to you by GTA. We start with you.
Acting State Historic Preservation Officer Patrick Lujan provides more insight into human remains inadvertently discovered on construction grounds at the military's live fire training range. The latest finding of human bone fragments found at the beginning of the month in a push pile of cleared forestation. Another set of bone fragments also found at a site that had been inadvertently discovered previously in late September. Lujan says no dating or DNA testing has been done of bone fragments.
Those are real hard to tell because of the exposure. They weren't buried remains, so to speak, so they were exposed for decades. When you do that, it becomes bleached, it becomes brittle, and almost impossible to test for DNA. So the thought process with that is that these are either World War II era or post-World War II era remains.
He also clarified whether or not the military was advised by the SHPO's office to leave the remains in place. He says he only asked that remains be left in place so that senators would be able to see them when they went on a field trip to the firing range last week. However, the Navy was not able to honor that request, according to Lujan.
Navy decided that because of the weather and the possibilities of erosion or what have you, then they removed it.
Lujan also said storing remains in paper bags and cardboard boxes is an accepted form of containment for archaeological finds. Some senators had commented on the storage of remains during their field trip to the firing range last week.
It is. If you look at the Hornbostel collection from the ancient remains of years past, actually that's the best way of protecting the remains.
Lujan could not immediately say which of the military's mitigation plans for recent inadvertently discovered sites has been approved by his office, but he did say that on a recent trip to Washington, D.C., he was able to share with Pentagon brass concerns from local activists.
We sent the message of how the activists feel about it, and just the feel of the island, the status of the flow of and the amount of work that's put into this, and gave them some suggestions on how we can work better moving forward especially with another with the bigger piece of the firing range still to come.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Brought to you by GTA. We start with you.